Portals are cool. If you've watched one of our recent videos on the subject, you'll already know that. You'll know that because portals are cool, I decided to make a board game prototype about exploring with portals. And you'll also know that I ended that video with a question. Do you want more? And the answer seemed to be yes. So, because I don't want Obama Gamer 63 to kill me, it looks like my hands are tied. And let's address the most exciting point first. This time, you can play it yourself, and you can do it basically for free. We've included all the files available for download on our Ko-fi page. You can download them without paying anything. But while you're there, if you want to and you have the means, you can feel free to leave a donation to support us in making more cool games like this. But, what's in there? Okay, a quick recap of the game. In Lordle of Portals, you control a faction, racing against the other players to gain the most popularity so that you can be elected the Lordle of Portals. To do this, you'll roll dice, which you can spend to take actions on your faction's unique action board, letting you do things like move between locations, fight enemy players, open up portals between existing locations, or even explore brand new locations from the deck. As you open up more portals, the board will transform into a chaotic, interconnected network of locations. At the end of each round, you'll get to activate the unique effects of every location you control, and then you'll score based on the virtues that the public currently holds, which changes every single round. So, as far as components, that's all the virtue cards, all the location cards, a popularity track, resource tokens for the water, ore, and metals which are won in combat, magnetic portal rings and bases, a unique action board for every single faction, and custom unit figurines for every single faction. And when I say every single faction, I don't just mean the 2 that I had in the last video. I actually designed 2 more brand new factions, bringing the grand total up to 4. And to help us really bring these factions to life, PCBWay reached out to us to help get these units fully resin printed. PCBWay offers 3D printing services in all kinds of materials, even including metals like stainless steel and titanium. For us, it was important to make sure each faction had a unique color so that it would be visually distinct at a glance. So having all these options to choose from was perfect. All we had to do was upload our 3D models, choose the materials for each one, and then PCBWay's team manually reviewed it to give us a quote. They even noticed when I accidentally uploaded an incorrect file, and they reached out directly to help me fix it. PCBWay is a great choice to help you bring your prototypes and ideas to life when it's just a little bit outside what you're capable of at home. For us, that was getting high-quality resin prints, but they also offer other services like CNC machining and, of course, custom PCBs for your electronics needs. Based on how well this order turned out, I'd say you're in for a quality experience. Aside from the figurines, I'm also really excited about the new mechanics that each faction will bring to the game. In the previous video, the Hydrian and the Tacticon factions played very differently. The Hydrian would rapidly shift their units around the board to create an overwhelming stack of units, whereas the Tacticon played around their overclock ability, allowing to optimize ruthless turns where they were repeating actions and recycling dice. The 2 new factions I added are the mysterious Cult of the Crystal and the plant-based Florica. The Cult of the Crystal is weird. It likes to be isolated, benefiting from controlling locations that are not adjacent to any enemy units. It's not very good at big combats or at moving its units around really fast, but it can siphon ore by closing portals. It can then spend that ore to immediately gain popularity, and it can even mind control enemy units, including mind controlling them into your own units to start a combat where you're at the advantage. The Florica, on the other hand, are all about growth. A lot of their actions have really high valued costs, but they have an action which allows them to increase the value of every die in their action reserve by 1. The big thing though is that they have an action which allows them to place a growth token on another action on their board, permanently upgrading that action for the rest of the game. Some growth tokens take the place of a die in that action's cost, making it easier to activate it, while others will provide an empowered effect. For example, the Florica have an action called Overgrowth. Overgrowth lets you close a portal at the location you control. But if you have a growth token on the Overgrowth action, you can also discard a unit at the connected location for free. Choosing what actions to upgrade and when adds a whole new layer of depth to the Florica's strategy. I love it. And yes, the growth tokens have their own 3D printed resource token, just like the ore, water, and metals. Aside from the new factions, I also added a few new locations. Mostly this was to fill up the final page so that there wouldn't be wasted space in printing, but in general, having more locations is good for game-to-game variety. Some of my favorites from the new batch include the Zipper, which lets you spend ore to close portals, the Asteroid Belt, which will discard units at adjacent locations, and the Ore Crab Den, where the helpful little ore crabs will gather up ore for you, but they're a little shy, so they'll only do it if no one is in that location. All of the new locations and both new factions are included alongside the old stuff in the files we've provided so you can print them yourself. We've provided 3D models for each of the units, resource tokens, and the portal rings and bases. We've actually included 2 versions of the portal pieces, one of which is the magnetic version you saw in the previous video. Magnets are super cool, but we know that some of you won't want to buy magnets just for this project or aren't quite confident enough to put the magnets in mid-print. So we also created this Lego-inspired model, which slots together very nicely. Up to you which version to use. Either way, there is still some assembly required because you need to tie the portal rings together with string. But unlike the magnets, there's no need to pause the print to do this partway through. Aside from the string or cord, a healthy amount of dice, and optional magnets, everything you need is included in the files. Before you go play it though, I feel I should provide a disclaimer. This game is definitely still a prototype. The majority of its mechanics were kind of just thrown together. The game was only ever intended to be a side project for me to learn a little bit about physical prototyping and thinking about board game design. While the playtests so far have been fun, there definitely haven't been enough for me to feel confident that it's fully balanced. Which is why, alongside the PDFs for all of the printable sheets, I've also included the original PSDs so that you can modify them as you see fit. Change the costs, the effects, the artwork, it's all fair game. In fact, I've even thrown in the templated blank versions so that you can make your own factions and locations. Which, if you do make that, please share it with us. Tag us on Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, Tumblr, or even just email us. We'd love to see it. Even if you just print it out and play it at all. It would make us happy to know that people actually are playing and enjoying the game. And also, let us know, are you set now that you have the files, or do you still want more out of Lordle of Portals? And if so, what would that be? Let us know. Until then, obviously we're working on our brand new game Chrono Cards, where you play cards onto a timeline to bend it to your will and defeat your rival chronomancers. We're hoping to have more updates on that project for you very soon, so I'm just gonna untie this and get back to work. So you can go. I got this one. Ah! No, yeah, I'm stuck.